I'm Katie Bassett and I'm the Sales Operations and Enablement Director for the UK and Europe. So let me tell you a little bit about Serco. So Serco provides public services across governments both in the UK, Europe, in North America, in Asia Pacific and also in the Middle East. That means a number of things. We operate across a number of different sectors. So from running hospital facilities to managing the Caledonian Sleeper that runs up to Scotland, we really do provide a broad range of services. So like many organisations, Serco has been undergoing a period of transformation for the last 3 or 4 years. Having stabilised the business over the last couple of years, we're now starting to enter the growth phase of our strategy. And in the sectors and public sector within which we operate, this is quite complex. So the outsourcing services industry at the moment is much in the press. And I think for us as an organisation, it's facing some challenges for us as we start to think about growth. So the main 3 challenges really when we start to think about outsourcing within the public sector in the future are the changing face of the demographic, the citizens that we provide services to. The face of the citizen is changing, the way in which they want to consume services is changing, and it's challenging us as an organisation to really think about what some of those things are. The second thing I would say is that against that context, the government does not have an infinite pot of money. And so a lot of innovation is available when one has large wallets, but that's not necessarily the environment within which we operate. And again, that gives us some really interesting things to think about when we talk about innovation. And the third thing for us as an organisation is actually the complexity of the sectors that we operate. So how do we ensure that we remain operationally efficient and productive, continue to provide the services that are necessary, but at the same time do not end up in a situation where our costs are also escalating. So I joined Serco 2 years ago in the last 12 months of us undertaking the transformation stage of our strategy, and we were starting to think about entering the growth strategy in the future. What we recognised at that time was that the tool that we were using to support our sales environment across the globe, Salesforce, had actually been adjusted and evolved over time and no longer necessarily meted the needs of our business as we started to think about growth moving forward. So when we took the decision to move from Salesforce to Dynamics, we did actually a large review exercise across the business in advance of doing that, and we captured feedback on behalf of a group of different stakeholders, from the sales folk that use the tool today, but also to finance and accounting and other pieces of the business that need to leverage the system and the data within it in order to fill the functions. So we chose Microsoft Dynamics because as an organisation, we've started to migrate a lot of our portfolio to Microsoft as a platform. And as that journey has happened, we've realised that legacy systems like the Salesforce system that we used for sales reporting historically no longer met the needs of either our IT strategy moving forward, but also the needs of the users. So the decision for us was really taken with those 2 things in mind, both the technology and the future roadmap of that technology, but also to ensure that we also met the needs of the customer base in terms of sales. So for us, when we looked for a partner to support our transition to Microsoft Dynamics, we did not have the in-house capability and expertise to actually both capture the needs of the business to ensure that the tool that we configured was right and appropriate, and secondly, our ability to migrate the information, what's very valuable information to an organisation like Serco, from Salesforce into Dynamics. So having a partner who had that technical expertise was absolutely paramount to us. In addition to that, we're a complicated business. As I mentioned, we operate across a number of sectors, a number of geographies, and actually having a partner who would engage with us, who would work across our extensive stakeholder community and help manage the prioritisation of requirements and capabilities was really important to us. So the choice with Full Scope was a straightforward one for us. So Microsoft Dynamics offers incredible functionality. The challenge for us as a business is our ability to both consume change and be realistic about what we really need a tool to achieve. And so our choice of partner was really important. We needed someone who we could trust, who would actually challenge our thinking and push back on us when we were doing things that were perhaps unusual or actually not fit for purpose when it really came to thinking about our business. So Full Scope use a really interesting working method when they're capturing both requirements and undertaking projects of this nature. So the super thing for us actually was the blend of IT support and technical development, but also with the business-led work streams. So one of the really super things that really underpinned the method were the fairly relentless approach at times, but very detailed workshop environments and facilitator sessions that Fullscope provided to really get under the skin and get into the detail very quickly about what was actually required and not required as a business. That approach was key for us as we moved forward. So the three things that I think really stood out for us with regards to Fullscope as a partner, the first and the most important is absolutely the people. The thing that I think we've been most impressed by is the consistency and the quality of those individuals. Typically on projects of this nature, you'll work with a partner where you've developed really good relationships with some of the team, but not necessarily all of the team. And I can absolutely say with a certainty that that's not the case here. The second thing and third thing, I guess, that are linked for us is we did this project to time and budget, and we did this between 12 and 13 weeks, which of an organisation of a scale and size of Serco is quite incredible.